Hello everyone, we are about to start the session now and I hope you all hear me loud and clear. And wishing you all a very good evening, I would like to welcome you all for Nostalgia 2020, back to the Roots virtual event of Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. So, Rotaract is a big family tree, growing day by day, spreading her branches with amazing members in it. So, with that, we thought of going back in Rotaract memory lane to recall the past with a flashback of cherished memories on how this all began, what is Rotaract, and what will be the opportunities we will get by being a Rotaractor. Doing this for the celebration of 15th charter year of Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya and along with the 50th celebration of Rotaract in Sri Lanka. So without getting much time, I warmly welcoming all the past presidents, past Rotaractors and the current members of the club. Let's begin our first session. For that, I would like to welcome Rotaractor past President Thatu Mudanayaka, President of year 2005-6 and 2006-7, District Zonal Coordinator for year 2007-8. Rotaractor past President Chamara Besekara, President of year 2007-8. Rotaractor past President Aloka Gunasekara, Vice President 2007-6-7, Chart President of Rotaract Club of Sentinel United. Rotaractor Dinuka, Vice President for year 2006-7. Rotaractor Sumali Hevage, Member of the Charter Committee.
Hey guys, I think I'll take on from here for 20 minutes or so. Hi everyone. It's like really great. It's really great to see you all here. I was just looking at the numbers and it was like 60 or more. So it's like really cool. We've never had, I have never been talking to this many people after I maybe left the university. So it's like a good one for me too. So without taking too much time, I would like to thank you all for organizing this wonderful event. I mean, this not only brought people virtually together, but I mean, we've been talking amongst our past members quite a bit because of this event, and that's like a really good thing. I mean, it's something really great. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have been finding the time and all the importance to kind of reach out to everybody. So thank you all for that. So I think the first session is to talk about how all of this started and what happened at the very beginning, like what is basically the beginning of the beginning. I'll quickly get to the point. So basically, how this started was like I had a background from Interact Club. I was a school interactor, and when I came to the university, it was like very natural for us to kind of look for a Rotaract Club, and inside the university we looked for one, but couldn't find a Rotaract Club in the university. So just looked around and asked people, and it wasn't there. And then one of my like school Rotaractors, like from the same school, senior to me, it's actually Varuna Kulavansha, senior year to me also from the science faculty. I asked, we talked. I asked him, do we have a Rotaract Club? Can we form one? And so he said, it's normally we can have a Rotaract Club at the university, especially at University of Peradeniya. So, I mean, I asked him why, what's wrong with the Rotaract Club here? And I don't know, he said, but I mean, it's going to be a strange fit here. So that's what happened. And then, I mean, both of us probably decided, I mean, why not? We'll give it a shot, right? And then looked around about how to start this, and then later on found out that there's already a club that has been chartered by Dr. Vijay Kumar, if I remember correct.
Vijay Kumar.
Yeah. Dr. Vijay Kumar from the dental faculty. He has been a district governor from the Candy Rotary Club. So he has chartered it with some time back, and it has died. And so we basically use that club, and so we use that, you know, whatever the, you know, charter that we had, and you know, it was easier to go that route, and started the whole thing. I mean, at the beginning, it was mostly concentrated in the science faculty, and the ELTU played a big role because we needed a backing at that time, and they kind of like all the kind of ELTU staff kind of helped us, and we had our first meeting. It was a big one at science faculty. A lot of people came to see it. But as usual, I mean, only a few remained. Most had to kind of, you know, I don't know. It like we perennially had this trouble, you know, getting the message across, like to talk to people about what Rotaract is. Like it was really hard because Rotaract is not only a university organization, it goes beyond, right? It goes to the country and even beyond that. So it was really hard to talk about that, and you know, what kind of what is the, you know, true uh, you know motivation behind, you know, joining a club like this and so on. So after the science faculty, the first year, 2005, 2006, 2005, 2006, we had like a majority science faculty committee. And then after that, after 2005, 2006, we really pushed uh, for looking for people and making this club a truly university-wide organization. And so we looked for like really good talents, really good leaders from other faculties who can basically run their own kind of mini club inside their faculties. So that's how we came about, like with people like Dinuka, Aloka, Somali, and you know, a lot of like very talented leaders from all across the you know, university, from different faculties. And then basically the second committee is where the club kind of got its shape, that kind of got preserved afterwards, where we have like, you know, like all the top board members were from different faculties, from like male female mixed together. Like I was the president, Somali was the secretary, Aloka was from the arts faculty, was vice president, and Dinuka was from engineering faculty, vice president, and so on and so forth. Like we had that mix, and that kind of I think propelled the club forward in a good way. And this became like a university thing. I mean, it kind of broke the, you know, the perception that this belongs to some like one faculty, or like dominated by one faculty. Everybody kind of had like big roles to play, and you know, it kind of got traction from there on. Not that we didn't have challenges, we definitely had a lot of challenges, but still I think those leaders, that team, like that members, you know, did a really really good job to, I mean, membership changed. The other thing was like I mean, it was like we had a really high turnout around, I think like people would show up one day and the next day we would lose a lot, but there was like that core team that was pushing this forward. And that's how we uh, got here. Uh, so in my honest opinion, I felt like even after this time, I feel like there is like always uh, a club or organization to do like a lot of things. If you want to do sports, if you want to do like, if you want to hike, and you know, all that, right? But like there are people who are kind of always leaders, I think, and they didn't have a place to express themselves. I mean, that's what I feel like even after all these years, like I like when you look at it, look at the Rotaractors who kind of was at the club. Now they are like, after like so many years, I see that they are basically leaders in their own right. So I feel this is the place that we built for leaders to express themselves. So today I think all of you guys, like 60 or maybe even more, I feel all of you are leaders, and that's why you chose Rotaract to kind of express yourselves. So one of those leaders was our local. So I'm gonna invite him to talk a little bit about how, how he sees our beginning happened, and what he has to share. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Pratham. Thank you very much. I mean, first of all, I don't think I have ever had the opportunity to thank you for involving me in Rotaract, because as it happened, so Rotaract actually had a profound change in my life. In fact, the first few things that I did, so I have a personal affiliation, or I have a personal inclination towards professional development, and in general, whatever that I can do to help people to get to a better place. So whatever that I do right now, 15 years after, has had a massive impact on whatever that I did back in university. So especially with the Rotaract Club. So thank you very much for involving me in the initial stages. And I'm really glad that we managed to make those changes happen as a team together. And we also made sure that, it's a, like you said, it's a very inclusive sort of environment. And we completely went against all the biases that we had, we usually have in the university. So I really think that it's one of those key differentiators that we've had at Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. And to me, that's one of the biggest wins. And even 15 years after, that's one of the biggest things that I see. We never differentiate between anyone. Now, to take this conversation further, I would like to invite three people from the initial membership of the club. So this would be Dinuka Karunaratne. So he's right now in US. He's if I'm not mistaken, Dinuka, correct me if I'm wrong here. So he's a research engineer at Intel. So we also have Chamara. Chamara used to be the president after Patum. And then we have Sumali. Sumali is she used to be the secretary in Patum's year, in my year, when I was the VP. So to take this conversation further, let me first invite Dinuka. So Dinuka, the fact of the matter is, within the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya, people from, or the students from the Faculty of Engineering has had a massive impact, and a lot of the work that was done was spearheaded by the members from the Faculty of Engineering, and also I think many of the presidents also came from the faculty. So Dinuka, in your opinion, what Rotaract mean to you back in the day when you were studying at the Faculty of Engineering? That's one. And the second question is, how did Rotaract change your perspective, or how did Rotaract affect your understanding and of course the I guess, yeah, the understanding of interaction between students from different faculties. So it's two questions. So unlike your usual self, be a little bit more descriptive.
Hi, I'm just going to say good morning, everyone. It's 6:30 a.m. here, Sunday. Yeah, I'm glad you guys welcomed me to this discussion. It's been a long time. Yeah, and just to answer Aloka's question, right? why is engineering so dominant, or why, what's my perception about early Rotaract and the interaction between students. I think I'll need to go back. The first phone call I got from Patum, it was about a 1 hour long phone call asking to explaining me about this momentum that he has and why it's so important that I should join it. And I was like, what the hell? So anyway, so
I have to interrupt you a little here, Mashan. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was back in 2005. Okay, 15 years ago.
Oh, 5! I really can't remember. It was a heck of a long phone call, and like I never got such a long call in my entire life.
Yeah. So I was telling this to the guys in the morning also. So by that time I had never had that long a call with my then girlfriend, now wife. We have never had that call. And also back then, I'm sure you guys were like 6-year-olds or 8-year-olds back then, and calls during that time is bloody expensive. Okay, so to get a call for 1 hour is like next level. So carry on, Mashan. So that's pattern.
Yeah, I still remember it came to my home land. I didn't have a cell phone back then. It came to my home land number, and my mom and dad are both looking like, who's this guy talking to all this long? Anyway, so we after this long phone call, I think few of Patum invited a few of us to the 𝑵𝑶𝑻𝑨𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑮 canteen, right? And I think it was you, me, so Patum, Aloka, Varunaya.
Yeah.
I think, can't remember. There was few more people, and I had known I had little interaction when I was in school with Interact, and I pretty much kind of knew what Rotaract and Rotary was and what its culture was like. And then also I think it was my second year or third year at Peradeniya, so I knew what Peradeniya culture was also. So I think in the meeting, the main thing we were discussing is how can you interact these two cultures in a balanced way so that you could move the club forward. And clearly, I guess we've done a good job, right? I mean, it's gone there for 15 years, right? The main thing I think we all were focusing on at that time was how can we make this a safe zone for everyone from different backgrounds, different religions, different cultures, different beliefs, different faculties, right? How can all these different background people meet into a common movement and just work towards to make it a better place for everyone, right? And I think at that time the key was to make it sure that it's a safe zone for everyone, just so that they can freely speak up, freely say whatever they want, freely interact with everyone. And I think that there were tensions, all right? I'm not going to say no. There were external tensions, internal sections as well. But the bond that was created within the club, I think, has gone a long way. Even though there aren't few people here, I know there were a few people who had met through the club and now who are having families as well from different clubs, different faculties and etc. as well, which has gone a long way. Yeah, so did I answer the question, Aloka, or do you want me to add a little bit more to it?
Yeah, you answered the question, but at the same time, another thing that I would like to understand is, okay, so for the benefit of everybody who's in this session, the same time that Dinuka was the vice president along with me at the club, he was also the captain of the university swimming team.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate your two experiences?
Captain of this. So yes, I was in the sports council. I'm sure there are a lot of you guys who are in the sports council as well. The sports council and this is a little quite different actually. In the sports council, there was a variety of background of people, right? A variety of personality changes and stuff like that. And with them, you had a much more broader kind of balanced view. But one thing that I saw about the Interact Club, like everyone had the same momentum, like getting things done was so easy. Yeah, you only like you don't need to do a lot of convincing. I think it was the attraction of the people, because sports is something where you get from a lot of different backgrounds, and you do that through your young ages, and you build up certain personalities based on that, right? I don't want to pull out names, but there were a few at sports ones. But I think with Rotaract at the University of Peradeniya, I think there were a lot of new people who had joined the club without any background, right? And when they come based on, oh, they hear the movement that's going on at Peradeniya, and they want to join the movement. So it was two different stuff, but I would clearly say both of them had their own challenges.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. So one final question for you before I go to Chamara. What do you miss the most in Rotaract after 15 years?
I think it's that time we just would sit and talk. I think that fellowship is something that I miss a lot. I do that a little with Chamara now whenever I get a chance. But I think, we used to hang out a lot.
Yeah.
Kill a lot of time. I think that friendship we built went a long way.
Yeah.
We did. There were some interesting stories that we all did.
Yeah.
So it was a fun time. Definitely a fun time, and clearly, thank God, we all ended up doing ourselves pretty well at Peradeniya also.
Yeah.
We didn't skip too much class either, right? We didn't skip too much lectures. We all got through. I think everyone got through pretty well through university and ended up in whatever respective areas they're now.
Yeah.
But I kind of the major thing that I miss is that just hanging out kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. To give you guys, everyone who's a part of this session right now, so we have 81 right now. So every year, Dinuka comes down to Sri Lanka, and we usually meet in either Colombo, in Kandy, or wherever, and we have just go back to the memories that we've had. I mean, we've had many. I mean, we used to basically crash at his place. I remember one time we did a massive omelette of about, I don't know, 20 eggs or so.
No, it was. I don't know if you guys still, Lahiru, do you guys still have this after party thing?
After party, yeah. Aftershock.
Aftershock.
We do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was what Alok is saying aftershock.
Yeah.
So at that time, I think my parents were not in Sri Lanka or something like that. I had the entire house to myself, and then these guys all came and.
So like I was saying, okay, so we had that many people, so we had to bring like 20 eggs. 19 were okay. The last one was bad. So we had to throw everything out and start from the beginning. And all of us, we were sleep deprived. We stayed up the night, and my God, such lovely memories. So in that note, okay, so let me move to Chamara. So Chamara was the president after Pathum, and then he also made a lot of changes in the way how things were done, and he had a really good vision about how things are going to move forward. So Chamara, now my question to you, because this is something that we've talked a lot even back in the day. My question to you is, okay, what should be the bigger vision for a Rotaractor from University of Peradeniya?
Hi, I'm Chamara. So it's a Sunday morning for me too. So it's pretty much the same time as Dinuka. So a bigger vision for a Rotaractor. So that would start when I was actually introduced to the club by Pathumaya, when I think it was my first or second year. So the meeting that he initially talked that we had in science English unit was the first meeting that I attended, and it was very different to all the clubs that we then had in the science faculty, where the vision was more broader. than university, and it was more like uh, how we could link university with the outside, and how we could link people with a broader perspective of how we can have a broader perspective of the whole world itself. Because Rotaract was a global association. So when it came to bringing that vision to Peradeniya, I guess most of you who are in Peradeniya would understand there's like a very different subculture that we go through, and then there is a very different perspective of how we can uh, drive a change, right? So for a tractor, I think always the bigger picture would be to think out of the box and try to see like how we can find solutions in a space where we all can work together, as Dinuka said, in a very safe zone where we can all talk and express ourselves. And like I used to always, in my year, most of the time we had these issues. We used to be like to talk not only within the group but with other groups. So in Rotaract, it's a platform where you have like lot of people from other faculties, other groups, other ethnicities, and all these things. So it's a good platform where you can work together to drive a solution. Uh, sorry, to talk together to have better solutions, and then uh, try to address those kind of things that you see that needs to be addressed in the university community, where people feel that okay, if we do a PD, like a professional development stuff, like it's not all about like having parties, funds, and all these things, but Rotaract is a movement where we actually used to develop leadership in the club, develop community service. We do a lot to the community service. So, and then also interacting with the district, right? So my opinion, an attractor should be a person who should think beyond the limits that we set ourselves, or at least like what we have been told. These are the limits that you can do in University of Peradeniya, because after you get out of Galaha, I think there's a whole different world that you have to face. And I think we all have experienced this in the 15 years, that the skill sets that you need is very different than what we've been told. So it's a good platform where you can build friendship, connections, community, and all of these things. That would be my take on like how a Rotaractor should approach in University of Peradeniya. I don't know if I answered it completely, but
yeah, you did. Okay, so following up on that question, like what would be the most memorable thing that you did at the club?
The most memorable thing, there's a lot, but I would pick in my year we were given a district event called Friends in Action. So it was basically like an entertainment show that we had to like put together a competition for for the district and beyond district. So we haven't actually done any kind of project like that initially. So the only kind of like people that have had experience like that was the drum sock. So we work together with a club that has a different vision than us, but it was more easy for us to mix with them and work together because we were a club that we never had like as Dinuka said, we were able to mix with each culture very very nicely.
We were agnostic.
So, huh?
We were agnostic, like we didn't really care about all the different.
Yeah. So the best thing was, I think we might have got into bad side of a lot of aspects in University of Peradeniya, but I think the event was a success. We had one in Kandy, we had one in Colombo, and even some talents like, I think it was Maria, right, who won it. So she actually came and performed in our competition. That was nice. So in general, that is the most the most thing that I remember doing in Rotaract. And the most other thing that I remember is like standing there in the Senate and talking for hours when we were starting, because we didn't even have a room those days. And I think later you guys might have moved to a room kind of a setting, but Rotaract, what I remember is like that pillars, leaning to one of those pillars and talking for 1 hour, 2 hours, about like, how we can make a change.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So thanks, Chamar, for that. So I don't know whether the rubric of that whole thing has changed any much than before, like 15 years ago. But it's such a enlightening experience, and it's such an enriching experience, because I mean, one thing that happens, and this is one thing that enriched whatever that I do as well. So I mean, I started, so my degree is in arts, but right now I'm managing engineering teams. So a lot of the things that I learned how to do that actually came from my conversations, because I had the conversations with you, and I learned how to talk to, let's say, people from different backgrounds, and that was really, really important, because you usually don't get that opportunity when you are working with any other organization that I can think of.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then what usually happens is, okay, you come together and then you bitch about the problems that you have. The lectures, whatever, and then if you're attuned enough, it actually allows you to learn a lot about a lot of these things. Very, very informal sort of learning, but it makes an impact. Now, with that, I would like to move over to Somali. The one thing I remember about working with Somali is dropping her at like 11 o'clock at night to her boarding station, in Peradeniya. My God, and we used to have like bunch of people, Katu, myself, Chamara.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have that culture, like when dropping, like you got to go and drop your female batchmates?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys do that now. Those days, like if it's about 6, 7, then it's about somebody has to go and drop. Yeah. At least walk to their boarding.
Yeah.
Or to the hall. Yeah.
It's like a mob, right? So we had like vehicles, like stopping and looking what there is going on, so on and so forth. It's fun times. So yeah, with that.
Thank you for that, though.
I had to bring that up because we are going down the memory.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So right. Okay. So Somali, your question is, how did female representation enhance the club, and what are the areas that should have improved for sustained engagement of the female students? I also have a follow-up question to that. That is, what do you think we need to do to have our first female president of Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya?
Okay, thank you, Alok. And I should congratulate the current president, Lahiru, and every one of all the members who are participating today. And it's such a nice moment. After 15 years, I guess, that we have this platform to come together. So it's amazing. And thank you for arranging this. I don't think I would have met most of you guys if not for this.
No.
So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have been talking with few of them, but not like this. So it's great. Thank you, Lahiru, for arranging. And not just you, I know it's not only you, and then there are the whole committee worked so hard Yeah, and talking about female representation, I don't like to differentiate it. I would say that we just worked together because it was super safe, like you all have been talking about throughout the session. I mean, it was so safe, and dropping me off, thank you. So I didn't have to worry about it. So I think we worked side by side, and I know that the female brain works differently than male brains. So I think that's how we brought new insights to develop what you guys have been doing. So I think we are playing a really big role here. So I don't like to differentiate it as a female representation, because there was no restriction for us to work. So we work together. It's just like a very equal playing field for us. The thing is that Rotaract itself in Peradeniya, it just gave a lot of girls, I think, so much to think about, like how much we can do and our capacity. Because if I recall my first meeting, I think because I'm coming from Faculty of Agriculture, and I don't think anybody has gone out of the faculty to join something like this. And I know that there were like people talking about like, she's going to a different, like, oh my goodness, there are like all these different faculties. I mean, I know that it happened. So, I mean, the club made sure that everybody is equal and we can work together, talk together, and do something great. So I guess that we succeed, and then here we are after 15 years. So, but then again, also, so I know I was the secretary during Patum's year, and so there has not been any restrictions how much we can contribute to the club, and I think that's why we are here. The engagement, I think it has been quite successful so far, and I believe there are quite a number of female members. So I think it has been it has been sustained throughout. And we have given different roles, which is equally, we can participate in developing different projects, and even like fun events. So I don't think there is anything that we have not gotten during these 15 years of time. Maybe if we talk about the leadership, how much we have had throughout these 15 years, maybe there's something that we can improve there. So, because up until now, there have been 15 presidents, all of them are males. So maybe we can do something in that area, but I believe to have a large portion of the membership to be women, I think it is quite safe, and we have been having equal opportunities. So I think we are in a good position in terms of male and female representation. So yeah.
Okay.
I guess you got something from my answer, or do you need to?
It actually makes sense, right? So the viewpoints. See, okay. So this is what I believe in. You should work with a very open mind, because there are so much of things that comes together, especially when you're working in a club like this. Now, just looking at it, okay, so we have 83 people, and that means 83 different perspectives, 83 different experiences, and people are coming from very different areas. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like one of the biggest things that I remember is I mean, Dinuka, myself, we came from the same school. Then Chamara
Oh,
was
yeah.
from Mandala. Then Patam was from Matale. And you are the only person that we had from Colombo. Okay, so
Yeah.
the moment you come in and you talk about something, we're like, okay, what the hell is going on now?
Yeah, but then again, I don't know what you guys were thinking, but but I guess we did quite a good job. I mean,
Yeah.
that's yeah. Maybe that was like in the initial times that you had to get get used to the person, to know how to interact. Yeah, there are differences, but then again, I don't think after some time, once you get into the club and then you're given that time, it's just everybody's like having a good time. I guess that we did it, and then you guys are having, and I'm pretty sure about that as well.
Yeah. So, okay. So with that, I would like to put someone on the spot. This is completely out of the blue. This is just something that we, myself and Dilip discussed. So 15 years after, let me put our host in the spot. So Chamini, can you tell us what's your experience like so far with Rotaract right now? So flashing back 15 years.
So, and I would like to thank you for the flashback you gave back in 15 years. And I also like to add something with that you came up with the flashback that you are, like Dinkaya said, that his favorite memory is like it hanging out the after party peak and being Chamaraya for being in the Senate. And still we are continuing with that legacy. And that's also the favorite moment of the Rotaractors, the current members of the club. So, and I would like to, so it's also make me think back in my Rotaract movement also how I get involved in this, like Sumariaka said, how this affected our lives so differently and make us think differently on this and get involved ourselves and develop our personalities. So with that, I would like to thank you very much for you guys by giving us a brief history about the club and hearing you talk about the anchoring of the club with a lot of challenges and imagining about 15 years and how this club it's really amazing. So with that, I might think that the club members will get a question like, what is Rotaract? And also what the other presidents that they have gained from the Rotaract, what are their unforgettable memories with that? So I would like to invite the Rotaractor past president 𝑵𝑶𝑺𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑮, president of year 2012 and 13, president Rotaractor past president Chamarayapa, president 2015 and 16, Rotaractor past president Pasan Kavikeshawa, president 2016 and 17. So hi, and with all the things we talked, like Patumaya, Nalokaya, Chamaraya, Dinukaya, and Sumariaka said, and so I would like to move on to Pradeep Paya. So what is Rotaract as you see?
Yeah, so first of all, before starting, just to echo something that Alokaya and Chamaraya and Petumaya and all of them said, it's mind-blowing that, I mean, at a short notice, how this event has, 80 odd participants. I heard from Larry that we had about 100 odd registrations. So it's I think it's a testament to what a strong club that we are. The work that's been put on to this club for the past 15 odd years, we can see that there's a strong membership right now, and it's stronger than ever before. So it's something that I think, and I guess I speak for everyone else before me who spoke before me as well, that it brings a lot of pride. Yeah, so it's I mean, it's something that's awesome to see, and also it is actually does bring a lot of nostalgia seeing the little presentation at the beginning that Lahiri played, and something I'm guessing that all the past presidents are thinking, but did not say. Is it kind of us probably makes us feel a little bit old, figuring out how long ago some of these presentations, these pictures are coming from. But yeah, no, I mean it's awesome. It's awesome that we could put this together, and it's nice getting to talk to all of you. So let me just start before moving on to Pasan and Chamara. From my point of view, the question, what is Rotaract? I think it's something that is probably unique to each person. So what Rotaract is could be different from one member to another. For some person, it could be an opportunity to serve. Um, for someone else, it could be an opportunity to meet people, to have fun. Um, for someone, it could be an opportunity, like Aluka, you said, for self-development, for professional development. But I think the great part is that in Rotaract, you have all this together. Right? You have it in one package, and I mean we have all been in other clubs and societies as well. And I think the fact is, no other club, probably, or maybe very few other clubs or societies would actually um, provide the opportunity of having all of these together. So I think that's a unique thing about Rotaract. And then of course I think the question is on how would you as a member, how are you going to actually get the most out of it? And I think the cool part is Rotaract is, um, how can I put it? I think the more you give to Rotaract, the more you get back from it, right? The more time and effort you put into doing projects and meeting new people is actually how you get something back from it as well. And I think that's something that we should probably all think about, how we can be more involved in Rotaract so that we can get more out from it as well. Yeah.
So with that, I think also the Chamaraya also can add something on that, what Rotaract is to him.
Yeah, thank you, Chamini Nangi. What Rotaract is I think it's a broader subject, but then again, I think in this forum we all are in the Rotaract platform now. So let me summarize that for you, what I felt when I joined Rotaract. So actually, when I joined, Pubudaya was the president. Then again, Tarinduaya and some other Ayas and Akkas who are not here at the moment were playing kind of like fatherly and brotherly roles in the club. So basically, to all the Rotaractors out there, let me frankly tell you that this club is not just a club in the university, but it's a more or less a family. You know, we were there for everything. You know, we had a hell lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure that you guys are having fun more than we did. But then again, it's not just about fun. I mean, it's a club where you can groom yourself from the beginning to a place where you are able to go and face the society in a much more confident and in a professional way. The club helps you do that. So Rotaract is not just about the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya, but it's just a key and a doorway where you get exposure to an amazing organization where you get a huge exposure to see how the world works and how people get engaged. So for an example, if I say even during my first years of Rotaract under Pubudaya's presidency, I was able to go to Colombo and interact with the people in Rotaract, but who had like a very different perspective of what Rotaract is. So through Rotaract, I think you get the opportunity and the ability to like mingle with people who think differently. But then again, at the end of the day, no matter what your thought is, you're going to get together and do something amazing. So with that, talking about memories, this project, I think I chose this project to explain because I think it has been a project from early beginning till very recent days. I think it will continue in the future as well. The World Down Syndrome Day project. That is a project I think we all enjoyed a lot. I think for some of us, it was their very first project, and it was a project where we felt that we are giving something back to the community through Rotaract. I think more than me, Tarindwaya has experiences where little kids came to him and who weren't able to go to the washrooms on their own, and with very difficulties. But then again, at the end of the day, we also, it was very hard to work on. WDS, World Down Syndrome Day project, it was happening in Colombo. We had to move there, stay overnight and do a hell lot of work. But at the end of the day, with the variety show, when the day is ending and when you see all the children and their parents and everybody happy, smiling when they are getting gifts, that is the moment you feel that you are doing the right thing and you have invested your time and effort to a very good cause. So basically, to summarize, what Rotaract is giving something back. I think many of the IAs who discussed also had the same opinion. It's about how much you give. It's about how much you give and how much you gain in return. So you will have a lot of memories. I'm really happy to see the forum with such capacity, already 83 members in here. So you guys have made the correct decision to join an amazing club. It's about what you give. Just don't just be there, in a meeting, like, don't just be a head. Go there, like, interact with people, interact with other clubs, fight. We did fight for many things, fight, and at the end of the day, take something home, a lot of happy memories, and a generation of brothers and sisters who will be with you. Actually, even in this moment, even though we have lost contact, like, my fellow sisters are chatting with me, and, like, we are reliving the memory. So basically, Rotaract is giving something to the society, getting something back, and reliving those memories. I think that is what Rotaract is.
So thank you, Chamaraya, and also Hasanaya. Proceeding with the same question.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Pasan. First of all, I would like to thank Lairumalli and also Muthimalli and everyone who was involved in creating this amazing experience. Actually, it's also a privilege for us as well to listen to these amazing stories, how this club was formed, and all those amazing experiences. So when we were given this topic, what is Rotaract, I was actually thinking the same now as well, because you can't actually explain what Rotaract is now. Since now we are out of university, now only we are feeling how valuable Rotaract was, because it was everything. It was the team effort, it was giving back something to society, it was having fun, and you all know that it was everything. So since our topic is linking to memories, I'll say some memories as well. Then you will get an understanding what Rotaract was for us as well. So one memory that we have was we were able to influence people. I mean, during our years and past years as well. So we have done projects here, at elders' homes, children's homes, and psychiatric wards, prisons, anywhere. So one major thing that we experienced was we were able to look from their perspectives as well. So for example, now when we were at the psychiatric ward, we were able to listen to their stories. Now when we see a person, when we see a mentally ill person, we never get the feeling to call him pista, or I mean laugh at him, because we have listened to their stories and we have shared their memories. So that's like the thing. I mean, that's what Rotaract was. influencing people and making an impact to the society. Another thing was when we started this Reach for Water project. So actually, this getting this name also actually it's a funny memory. So when we at the third year, so one batchmate from our faculty came to a room and we were having a big talk. So he was explaining us about the kidney problems that he and his friends and his families are facing. So he was actually in 𝑵𝑶𝑻𝑨𝑽𝑧 area. So he was explaining this. So me and my friends in Rotaract, when we having a meeting, discuss about this. There's something that we can do as well. So we plan to do a project called, later we got the name Reach Water. So when we are suggesting the names, actually in the WhatsApp thread, I asked the people, can you give a name for this project? So different suggestions came, and my suggestion was Save the Kidney. So once I gave this name, actually everyone was putting these laughing emojis as WhatsApp. So I was also wondering why these people are laughing. So until now, even I can't figure out why they were laughing. But finally, we were able to come to a conclusion. I think Savitri suggested that name, Reach for Water. So that's one memory that we have getting that name. There we were able to donate water filter to Sandagalpa area, that was in Kakirava, which was around 2.5 lakhs. And that was an amazing project, and I was the people who joined with that have amazing memories. So yes, I would like to share. I would like to invite Pradeepai and Samarai as well to share their experience as well, because I think this time would not be enough to explain every memory. So Pradeepai, you also share some memories.
Yeah, Basan. Quite a lot of memories. I'm not sure how many of those we can actually mention in a public forum. So we'll we'll just stick into something that Chamar also said. About the World Down Syndrome Day celebrations. I remember that. I mean, it really it was. I'm not sure if how big it is right now. How whether it's being continued or not. But I do remember that every time we did have that project, we put our biggest effort into it. It was like a major effort that we put into it, and considering the fact that we had most of our people based in Kandy or around Kandy, not in Colombo, I think year after year we were the club that actually put the biggest kind of contribution. And also the other thing was when the day came that on the day of the event, I think pretty much every year us coming all the way from Kandy probably still had the biggest number of participants. It would be like a trip of its own. We would arrange a bus and there would be 35, 40 odd people back in the day who would come, and that would be a different project. I remember in my year, my secondary Hiruna was in Kandy. I was in Colombo for that day with some of the people who were helping out, and that was a different project on its own, getting people onto the bus, leaving on time so that you could come here to the Royal College at the correct time so we could do the project. So I mean, there are a lot of things like that that we could keep talking about. Chamar, anything to add from your end?
Yeah, Pradeepai, yeah, like there are, as Pradeepai and Pasan said, if we are going to talk about the memories we had, we can take the whole day. I mean, like, even when we are talking like this, more memories comes to our heads. It was a very, very nice and a happy couple of years in the university because of this club. So there is one project I felt without mentioning that I don't think it will be complete. So let me tell you about the project, the painting of the premature baby unit. Most of us got the chance to get involved in it. It was a huge financial burden for the club as well, because that project we did as soon as I got the presidency, and we had our installation to plan, but then again we had some money, and we made it a reality. Actually, when I think all of you remember when we go there for the very first time, the place was in a mess. The paint was torn out. The building was not in a very good condition. But to add on to that, the kids, the babies who have born earlier than they were expected were there. Even the nurses and the head nurse was very in a pleading way. They said that it's better if we can have them. I think yeah. So I think we were able to make a great change, and again that's on community service. So I'm not gonna talk a lot, because if I start talking about all the memories we had, as I told before, it will take the whole day. So I know there are more items in the agenda to follow up. So from my part, as the last statement, what I want to tell you guys is, collect as much as memories, give the maximum you can to the club and to the society, and you will never regret the life you had at the university and at the club. Thank you. And if Pasan and Pradipaya has anything more to add, the forum is open to you guys. So if not, we can, I think, hand over to Chamini Nangi.
So with what Pradipaya first said, that about the recap video we made, and I would like to add that Rahir and myself hunting on the videos and the photographs for the 15 years back time, and we were able to get on with the projects that you guys did back in then, and it was really amazing to see that. It was really a good experience for us to get exposed to that kind of projects. And I also like all the memories that you also shared about the WDSC and Reach Forward, and still we are continuing with those projects. And so with that, that was really interesting hearing from you, and thank you so much for sharing them with us. And I think everyone gathered here are having a flashbacks now in their heads with their own memories. So this is a place where we make so much memories and friends in life, and most important, building ourselves. A place where leaders are built. So to talk on that, I would like to welcome Rotaractor past president, Prabhu City 2013 and 14, and Rotaractor past president, Tharindu Mahalinga, president for 2014 and 15.
First of all, I would like to thank the current president and his committee for organizing this. This is a very, very cool thing that you guys did. Having 83 participants now, this is amazing feat. Having this kind of a gathering to share and talk amongst ourselves. And I really feel that you guys have done a really nice thing here. At the same time, being Rotaractors and doing what you are doing, I believe some things such as developing yourselves professionally is not as subtle as one might think. So which is why I guess you guys thought about this kind of agenda item in this program. So starting from the fact that starting from the part where Dinukaya said, where you get this whole community gotten together who come from different backgrounds, and the fact that this is kind of a safe place. This is something that Chamaraya mentioned, where this is a safe place where you can do and talk about what you really want to do with this movement, right? So initially coming in as a Rotaractor, you might not know what exactly that you might get out of this. At the same time, you might not know what kind of things that you'll be exposed to, right? So that itself is a challenge. And the most important thing, I would say, being in Rotaract and having, if there was something that we can develop as a person, would be communication. Okay, so that's the most important thing that I feel. I still remember the first time that I was put on SWAT to talk. This was under Peradeniya's presidency, also near the Senate, where I was going to talk to the members about my project, my first project, which was also a professional development project. So I was very scared. But the important thing is that is to realize that we are amongst our friends, right? This is not like you are being put in front of a blackboard or something in a classroom. This is a safe place where everyone can speak their mind, and that itself is part of your part of the development that you get out of Rotaract. So communication and interaction is one major thing. So whenever you get a chance to talk, whether it's about a project, whether it's about something personal to your friends, that actually helps you become a more better communicator and makes you a person who can maybe later on do the communicating in a much better way. So that's kind of a sort of a training that you get when you're in Rotaract. At the same time, the other part of that is the interaction that you get with the members, which whom of which come from a wide variety of backgrounds. So that's very important, I feel, because that develops you to a person where you can understand people from different backgrounds, right? I think that's something that I feel was very valuable to me when I was in Rotaract, to be interacting with a lot of people and doing something that is very important to you. In my case, that was community service, more or less. So when I came to Rotaract, what I thought of this movement was to be a movement where we do projects which serve the university as well as the community. But what I did not realize was that while I was doing those projects, I was being made to this person who had qualities of say better communication. It made me a better person in terms of confidence in pursuing something. It made me get along with, it made me a person who was able to get along with other people in a much better way. So these are the kind of things that you get when you are doing projects together. And this is what develops you as a person, professionally and personally, when you do these things. So yeah.
So thank you very much for Budhaya, and let's continue with that, Taridwaya.
I'll add up one of my personal experience to what Budhaya mentioned, how my Rotaract career started. Started the day I joined. I remember like it yesterday. I was in my first year, and past President Upulaya came to me and said, "There's this upcoming project, a rifle camp, and I would like you to coordinate that." And I was really shy, but I couldn't say no to him because we had this huge respect for Upulaya, and I said, "Okay, we'll do it." And at that time, Upulaya was the immediate past president, and Peradeniya was the president. At the same meeting, like a few minutes later, Peradeniya asked me to come forward and describe the project, which I'm going to do now. And I was so nervous. I had to come forward because everyone was looking at me. I was barely speaking like a couple of phrases, and it was really embarrassing. And that's how my Rotaract career began, but with the understanding my fundamental communication issues, but also with the great motivation to develop myself somehow. So I would like to tell you, like, if you are asked to do, like, or if you are asked to chair some project, never say no, no matter how nervous you are, no matter how hard it may seem, the leadership and the other skills you may learn through these difficulties will be treasures you will cherish in the future. And some of you might be thinking, oh wait, I don't have a leadership position in the club. How can I be a leader? Like, maybe I should wait until I get some director position in the club, or at least a project chair position. But I believe actually leadership is not about the position you hold. It's about a decision. It's a choice. It has nothing to do with the position in the organization. The moment you decide to look after the person right to you and look after the person next left to you, you have become a leader. You have to be the one the others can count on, and the one who influence the others to be their best. And once you made that decision, people will start trusting you, and they will start following you, and then automatically you will become this great leader. And I think Rotaract is the best platform to develop your leadership skills, because it has so many avenues. You can do whatever you like, and you can do the things you are most passionate about with the help of these amazing colleagues of yours. And there's a special reason I like Rotaractors most than the others, because not because I'm one of the past presidents. And when you think about it, if you wanted only personal development, or just to do fun, just to have fun and socialize, you could have joined any other club, or you could have stayed back and study and upgrade your grades. Instead, you invested your time and energy in Rotaract, because I believe you wanted to give something back to the community. Like, I believe those kind of selfless, beautiful, as well as cool people find. And I really appreciate and respect all of you for making that decision. So people we meet in Rotaract are different from the rest. So the friendship and the relationship you build are much stronger, and they will last forever. And that highlights the next benefit of Rotaract, what I wanted to talk to you about, the friendship and networking. And there are only few university clubs, and Rotaract is one of the most interactive one, through which you get to meet many friends from all the faculties and many disciplines. And you will surely collect many unforgettable memories, like Peradeniya, Shamarmalli, and Basant Mali talked about. And we cherish those memories so much, as Rotaractors talked about. So not only the unit time, trust me, you will look after each other in the future as well. So we have live examples right there. So I have so many personal experience with our seniors and junior Rotaractors, even the Rotaractors from other clubs who helped me in numerous ways. Actually, this January, I had a transit of 9 hours in Singapore, and it was the president of Moratour, who was parallel to me, who picked me up, bought me lunch, and showed me around. And I would do the same for him if he come to Australia. So that's so great. And in addition to friends, in these 4 years of Rotaract career, you will meet many Rotarians, and most of them are leading businessmen in Sri Lanka. Those contacts will come really handy, especially if you are into business or entrepreneurship. Yeah. And also there's this international service avenue, which creates networking and making members keen on learning about cultures and customs. And also through different youth exchange programs, you will be able to visit other countries as well. So far we discussed like many advantages and benefits of being a Rotaractor, but out of all, I think the most important one is the sense of self-fulfillment that comes through the projects, especially the community service ones. Like after sleepless nights, extensive hard work, seeing the happiness of Down syndrome kids, knowing that you made their day, or when you raise funds so hard and donate that water filter to those poor villages like Pasan Mali mentioned, like, who suffered all their lives without clean water, that memories are gold. I remember when I was raising funds for new cancer hospital, one mother came to me and started crying and holding my hand, thanking for our efforts. So I asked her, why are you crying? And she said, her son is diagnosed with cancer. And I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. And later that day, I went home and told my mom, so this happened. Then she said, you should be really happy, because if your efforts could save at least one kid's life, like how amazing that would be. So yeah, that's so great. So talking about mental health a little bit, because that's what we gain most from this club, I feel. So have you heard about the Harvard study of adult development? So I was searching what to talk about today. So this came up. So this is the longest study that have been done from 1938 for 80 years. It's the longest research that has been done using 700 men and healthy as you go through life. So, well, the lesson is not about the wealth or fame or working hard. So they have discovered it's not the healthy diets or exercise or buying most expensive health insurance that would keep us healthy. It's all about the mental health and good relationships. People who are like socially connected to families and friends, community, and have good mental health are happier physically, and they live longer than the people who are less connected. So I can guarantee you, so all the past president here will back me up. Rotaract will definitely improve your mental health and will make you a better person for the society, and more especially for yourself. So guys, I wish you all the best. For the guys who are here, you have a memorable Rotaract journey, and have fun. Thank you for listening to me. Hope you learned something.
Okay, thank you very much, Saridwaya and Prabhudwaya, for adding amazing thoughts with us and sharing their memories with us. So, while thanking them, in Peradeniya, we as Rotaractors during our degree period, and after that, some will drop off and some will continue. So, how will be the life after Rotaractor Club of Peradeniya? So, we have the best to talk on this with us today, and I would like to welcome again Rotaractor past President Aloka Gunasekara, Vice President for 2006 and 7, Charter President of Rotaractor Club of Sentinel United, and Rotaractor past President Upul Senanayake, President for 2011 and 12, District PD Director for year 2011, 10 and 11. So Alokaya and Upulaya. So Alokaya, it's all up to you, and I also like to invite Rotaractor past President Pradeep D. Alice. Pradeep Aya also on board for next session.
Okay. All right. So this is actually pretty interesting. So, right. I guess the topic of this session is, okay, does Rotaract end in unicity, and how can we continue as Rotaractors? Honestly, I wish that Bhagya was here, Bhagya Godage, because he probably would have given you guys a better understanding, and because he flourished in Rotaract. I've known him since day one, and Rotaract is where he actually took off really well. So I wish he was here, but I actually tried calling him, but he's not available, unfortunately. So so Upul, you are here, right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh man. Okay. So. Okay. So what does Rotaractor? Okay. So what does Rotaractors from Rotaract Club have after leaving the university? So let me give you a little bit of a context about this particular problem. So I guess you guys will be able to appreciate like what we've done also. Now, I think I was probably one of the first few people to leave the club, because I was doing a general degree, and so I think I left the university in 2007. while Pathum, Dinuk and myself, we lived together, while Pathum and all these other guys were staying still. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to do was, because that bug, the Rotaract bug has caught all of us really strongly. So we wanted to do something. The idea came up that, okay, let's just set up a club in Colombo. It looked really interesting. That idea looked really interesting. And then Bhagya, myself, Pathum, we all got together and then we chartered the club. So I didn't necessarily want to be the president, but then, I mean, I was given the opportunity necessarily. I was given the opportunity to charter Rotaract Club of Centennial United by Bhagya and Pathum, and they were like, you know, very, very strong behind me. And we were really like, from the get-go, Rotaract Club of Centennial United was very, very strong, just because we had the backing of all these really, really cool Rotaractors coming from University of Peradeniya. You guys might not have seen the original logo that we did for Centennial United. So it was like a moonstone, Sandagara Pahana. So what we did was, so the logo was done specifically to signify that, okay, we are coming from like all corners of the country. And then we had 18 people who represented the 18 people who chartered the club. And all these 18 people, I think apart from a couple of people, all these other people came from University of Peradeniya, Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. So it was such a cool thing to have back then. And the first year, this is the first time that this thing ever happened. Rotaract Club of Centennial United and Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya did the district conference. Okay, so like it was unheard of to have a club do a district conference on the charter year, right? And we actually went multiple steps ahead. So that was the only, and since then I think it's the only residential conference that happened in the country. We had it at Queen's Hotel. We had so many Rotaractors coming in, so that we booked both Hotel Queens and Swiss Hotel to accommodate all these people. And so that doesn't end here. So we did something called Galado. It's a fashion show that we did. It's professional quality. Like, I kid you not. Okay, so it was professional quality. We had a really good ramp going on. We had professional designers coming in, and some of these designers are like really well known right now. We had professional models coming in. The photography was again professional. Like, it's next level. It's like nobody could like reach us at that point. And all that happened just because of all these Rotaractors spearheaded by Bhagya, who came in and made such a massive difference. So, and I was skeptical because, you know, I didn't know, because I knew the amount of challenges that we had when we were reviving the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya, and I was skeptical. Okay, can we do this? So, like, what the hell is going to happen? But we nailed it. So I don't know whether you guys can see this, but you definitely have to see this. So all these, do you see all these things? So all these are the awards that we won on that particular year. Okay, so I count what, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 9 awards that we won at that year. So it's unheard of for a charter club, a newly chartered club, to have that many awards. The district actually had to create a separate category for us, saying that, okay, the best newly chartered Rotaract club, they actually had to create a different category. Otherwise, what would have happened is we would have become the best Rotaract club in the district. So to avoid that, they actually had to create a different category and award us. So none of that would have been possible if not for all the Rotaractors who joined hands and then who made a massive difference. So I'm just talking about one particular project, but we actually did a lot. So Rotaract does not end when you leave the university. It's just a beginning of a really good thing. So that's my experience. Upul, you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I think it's quite a unique problem for pretty much all the university Rotaractors. The usual time limit for Rotaractors, the age limit is by Rotary's definition 18 to 30. But we get out of uni around 25. Most of us get out of uni around 25, 26, or at most 27, I guess. And we sort of didn't have the culture where when you do postgrads, we sort of hang around Rotaract as well. So that was an interesting and unique problem even back then. And I think it's still a problem now as well, at least for other clubs. For us, fortunately, something that it's still there. But like Rotaract life doesn't really end there. Like you mentioned, okay, obviously the club, Centennial United is an option, but I mean, I see that in multiple facets. You can actually pick Rotaract life itself. Rotary has actually taken off the age limit, so you can actually opt to join as a Rotarian as well. Or you can sort of go on your own. If you're in any corner of the globe, you can actually find a Rotaract club. So once I actually got out of the uni, immediately afterwards, I was the immediate past president, and after I actually moved to Australia, I joined a Rotaract club here. I even attended a RI conference as well. It was a really interesting time, and the whole dynamic is such that once you're a Rotaractor, you're always going to be a Rotaractor. You know the core values of Rotaract, and you sort of have that synergy with other Rotaractors who are trying to do the same thing, do good to the world. And that connotation is always there, and it's really easy for you to move wherever you go. It's really easy for you to actually get into that suit and get that kick in and start working on it. The other end of the line is, I think this is something that we've talked about before as well, and most of the past presidents mentioned this. The whole sort of the network that you build throughout your Rotaract includes Rotarians, which means, in fact, if you actually if you are in the thought process where you think you've done so much in Rotaract and you've sort of reached your pinnacle in Rotaract, the next obvious move is to actually move into Rotary. And that is something you can achieve as well. I'm sure you guys, the current members, would be attending the Candy Rotary meetings as well, or other Rotary club meetings. Those are the networks that we actually build. I can start working with them and actually become a Rotarian as well. So that is another obvious path. But like, I think the last facet I see as a Rotaractor when you move out of the uni is that like with Rotaract, you get into a certain lifestyle, you get a set of core values. And even if you're not actually attached to a specific Rotaract club, it doesn't really mean that you can't continue that lifestyle, can't continue that core set of values, depend on it, and actually build on it. So I think the last facet I actually want to mention was that if none of these things work with you for whatever reason, maybe it's logistics, maybe you don't like it, maybe it's something else. But for whatever reason, if the last two facets doesn't work for you, I think the next choice is actually to build on the values you already have. Contribute to the Rotaract club that you were initially in, which is our club, University of Peradeniya. Work with them, join their projects, and also sort of keep on building your core values, the altruistic nature of yourself that you've actually built, helping others. You can actually continue doing that as well, building networks. So I think those are the three facets I see where we can go after Rotaract. And yeah, anybody willing to chip in?
Yeah. So, I mean, Upul, you summed it up quite perfectly, because like I was speaking about one facet of this whole thing, like, okay, what you can do, leave the club, and obviously sometimes you want to like get into stay with Rotaract, and if that's the case, make use of all the opportunities available. And of course, one of the biggest things is that, okay, I'm sure quite a lot of people who are representing the alumni of the club are not even in the country at this point.
Yeah.
So in that sense, and this is also something that worked for me when I was working with a lot of people outside of the country. When you're a Rotaractor, there's a certain amount of bond that you have, because that's something very common. Okay, so you understand the 4 avenues of service, and you understand like, okay, how all these things come together. And to put things in perspective, when I was, I think I was when I was in Centennial, I managed to interact with a guy based in New York, who later turned out to be a VC, like a really good VC, and his portfolio value right now is about $230 million. So if not for Rotaract, I had absolutely no way of interacting with someone like that. And the amount of value that I could create out of that one single connection is amazing. So that happened just because of Rotaract. And also, this is one of my personal experiences. See, I lived in Kandy, I studied in Kandy, then I went to University of Peradeniya. And for the first time in my life, I had to uproot myself from Kandy, and then I had to plant myself back in Colombo because of the job. And it's a very difficult transition. I'm sure some of you have already gone through that, and some of you will go through that. What happens is, when you are a Rotaractor, and this is certainly true for me, when I'm a Rotaractor, and then when I started this club, what happened was it completely opened up doors for me. So I could work with there's a really good Rotarian called Uncle Mahirakant. He used to be a DRR, past DRR. Is someone who still helps me to this day. Like I still get his advice, sound of some of my ideas, so on and so forth. Then there's another Rotarian called which I can't remember his name. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, it actually opens up a massive network for you, and all these people are like very, very influential, and these people have the networks available. And essentially, when that happens, you are sitting on the shoulders of giants, and there's a massive leg up for anyone. And now the biggest thing here is, okay, so you guys have like a really, really valuable degree when you come to that particular point. Okay, and then usually, getting somewhere in the world, there are like 3 key things as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you need to be able to learn very fast. You need to be skilled, and you need to have the right network. So what happens is when the skill is essentially the degree that you get is the epitome of the skill that you have at that particular point. When you're like, I don't know, 23, 24, the degree basically gives you the certificate that, okay, look, this guy or girl knows whatever that he or she is talking about. Number 2, learning. Rotaract is a really good place for all of you to learn, because it actually challenges you to learn. You have to do different things, like it was mentioned earlier that, okay, it allows, you need to like go out there, you have to talk to people, you have to convince them, so on and so forth. It's very difficult, but it works. Then the third one is the network. So with the Rotarians, you actually get that. What happens is when you combine these 3 things, it actually allows you to get to a better place. It was certainly the case for me, because I was coming from a very, very sort of a rural background, right? So originally from Norelia, passed my grade 5 examination and then came to Colombo. Sorry, came to Kandy, did my A-levels and, go to University of Peradeniya. And under normal circumstances, there's absolutely no way for someone like me to be in this position. So Rotaract actually played a massive role in that. So if not for Rotaract and if not for me being lucky in those particular points, I would probably still be in a town called Lindula, where the population is probably about, I don't know, 600 people. So without getting all these opportunities and without being in the right place at the right time, I don't think I would have had that. I wouldn't be able to come here. So Rotaract to me is a massive enabler. So what I'm trying to say is, all of the 70 people who are still with us, is that okay? Make use of this opportunity. Figure out do things that's meaningful. Create networks. Don't be afraid of talking to new people. I'm a massive culprit of that, because I was really afraid of speaking to people, probably because I'm a bit of an introvert. But Rotaract is actually a really good place for you to face those demons and then make something that's meaningful for your life and also for other people's lives. And one of the other biggest things is we do right things, we do wrong things, and at the end of the day, okay, so when you try to go to sleep is when all these memories come back and maybe haunt you, or maybe it takes you to a better place. Rotaract to me is one of those experiences that takes me to a better place, because when I'm feeling down and out, when I'm depressed, when I'm stressed out, okay, all I think about is the good things that I've done. Right? And it's such an empowering feeling, honestly. So, and I'm telling you with 15 years of experience, doing Rotaract and all these other things, so on and so forth. And you guys are going to be in the same place as me. So, yeah, so make use of all these opportunities. Remember all the good things that you did. Make use of all the network that you have, and make a change. So I guess that's what I have to tell you.
So thank you, Alukaya, and I would think that Pradeepaya also will add something more to this.
Yes, Jamini. Just that I wanted to add something to what Upulaya said, right? I mean, by 23, 24, 25, you'd be leaving uni, but just quoting Upulaya, you can't get the Rotaract bug out of you, right? You want to be in Rotaract, you want to be involved. And I think the great part is for Rotaractors from the University of Peradeniya, you have two great options, right? You can either join the Rotaract Club of Centennial United or the Rotaract Club of University Alumni. And so just to make the, so just to give a background, when we left uni, we had a great bunch of friends and presidents in the university circle, the 4 clubs from Colombo, Japura, and that's a feeling we had when we left uni. We didn't want to leave Rotaract, but also we knew that with coming from university, we are used to certain culture maybe, or certain way that things are done, and we want to kind of continue that sort of environment in Rotaract. So that's why we started the club of university alumni. So either way, so for you guys who are leaving Rotaract next year or the coming years, you have two great options. You could either experience the community-based kind of culture that Centennial has, or you can also kind of continue in a same kind of environment or similar kind of environment where you get to interact a lot with university graduates at the university alumni club. So either way, just make good use of that. There are two great clubs just waiting for you guys to join. They are waiting to welcome you guys. And my advice is don't leave Rotaract just because you leave university. Yeah.
So thank you, Pradeepaya, and I also would like to thank you, Alokaya and Upulaya, for sharing the amazing thoughts and giving so much advice on how we should continue as Rotaractors. And I'd like to invite Rotaractor past president Harindu Pinathuwage and Rotaractor past president T.S. Danushan to share their thoughts about Rotaract and about their unforgettable memories with us.
Hi everyone. Ranimali, you can continue. I'll follow after that.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank the Lahiru Malli and Ravindu Malli for organizing this thing. And during all this time for almost 2 hours, I just wanted to hear all those stories. Like as I was being the president in the 2018 and 19, I'm still in the university, so the experience that I'm getting is very different from the what I have heard from these past presidents. So it is a lot of amazing stories. So it was really nice to hear all of these stories and how the things now how the Rotaract Club is built up all these 15 years. So during my time in Rotaract, there is almost 150 active members, almost 150 members. So it is quite a big club now. The things are getting complicated, and we have to go in new paths and all the things. So it is quite different, I suppose, from the beginning. Then talking about the things that one of the main things that I think we have missed over these years is just connecting all these networks. So it is really amazing to see we're only getting this opportunity, because we have done a lot of things without we couldn't collect all these things in one place. So that is very good thing. So then talking about the experiences, as all my past presidents mentioned, it was something that we can get absolutely at all, but we can cherish our memory. So during the always I'm thinking when I have free time, if I can memorize what I have done, that is the best feeling I can get. So it's definitely that's going to be the main thing for the many Rotaractors. So it is really wonderful to have that kind of memories, because I think these things are going to get more valued during these times, because now still I'm studying and I don't have that much of the distance from Rotaract, but I surely believe that from my past presidents' experiences, the years are getting higher, so the value of these memories getting increased. So I would like to see the in coming years that how these thing experience will to get into me. So I think Virajai also have a lot of things to say, so I will invite him.
Hi everyone. So I was a bit late for the meeting, and sorry I couldn't meet all the past president in the previous meeting, and it was really wonderful, and hearing the stories from 2002, and meeting all the presidents, and connecting with these new members in our club, and it was really wonderful to see everyone, and it's really proud to hear that stories, and we are we have been part of a wonderful legacy, which is Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya carrying. And to what is Rotaract to me is it's like the whole thing, it's like the main thing that changed my life upside down. So I just wanted to
mention what the passion I had towards Rotaract. Before coming to university, I got I know Pudaya because I got to know Pudaya because he's my sister's batchmate. So that on that day onwards, I was following the Facebook group and the projects just done by Pudaya Sia and earlier one. So right after, before coming to the university, I wanted to, before joining the university, I planned, I decided I want to join this thing. That was a different feeling. So as everyone said, Rotaract gave me a lot of things, even I was very shy in my first year, and I joined in Tarindu year, and later I continued, and I've done, I think it's no, there are no words to explain the feeling that I have towards Rotaract, the bond, the fellowship, and the connections, the networking, and I am really amused to hear that Alokaya is also from Nuarlia, because I just got to know he's from Lindula, and I am just 2 towns away from Lindula. My hometown is Kotagala. So it's really good to know that the Alokaya is from Nuarlia. And yeah, I want to tell everyone, new people, I'm still in the university working as a demonstrator, so I'm seeing these people doing good stuff, great stuff, taking club into the great heights, and it's really amazing that Lahiru Malli organized this meeting, because it made the bridge between 15 years of Rotaract, from Pathummaya's to all 15 years, and it's really good to see. And I hope this, if this meetings continue annually, or these projects continues annually, it would be a really great help for the club to gain experience, to gain the knowledge, for the networking and everything. And I want to wish Ramidu Malli for taking up the presidency for the next year. And yeah, that's up for me. And as this is I think this advice I got, the first advice I got from Rotaract is from Tarindu Ayya. So I think it stayed in my mind for a long time. Get everything from Rotaract and give everything, get something to your life from Rotaract, and give whatever you can for the Rotaract, for the betterment of society and betterment of everything. And yeah, thank you. So that's all from my end.
So thank you very much, Dhirajaya and Tharindaya, for sharing their thoughts with us. And I think we can now get connected with Rotaractor Arshad Fasal. Hello, Arshad.
Hello, good evening to everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Rotaractor Lahilu for putting this thing together. And I think I'm most of y'all after, I think, 10 to 15 years, and it's been a really long time, and it's really nice to see all of y'all. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the past presidents and the teams that have come over the years for all the wonderful work you've done. And I'm sure in the day it must be much higher in magnitude, but I'm pretty certain that the effort or the passion that you had throughout the years was better than what we probably had. And just touching upon what Pathumaya started with, I mean, Chamara mentioning, and also I think it was Dinukaya who mentioned that Pathum's calls used to be like 1 hour, and just something to say that it was only not only for Dinukaya, it was also for, I think, Alokaya, me, Chamara. Back in the day, you know, even incoming calls were charged on, so even our numbers would get disconnected as Pathum would finish his calls. So that was the level of involvement from, I think, Pathumaya's time onwards. And during the initial stages, I think we had a lot of hardships because there was no one to show us the way forward, and it was a very new concept to all of us. I think most of us, the early members can remember, like for us, having to go to these meetings with the Rotary Club of Kandy and all the other, well-established clubs, and things were very new for us. And I think at that time, what really pulled us through was the spirit that we had, that this may be new to us, but as undergrads at University of Peradeniya, that if we stick together and if we have a clear focus regarding what our goals and visions are, we can certainly elevate our club to a particular position where we can go from strength to strength. I think that's where we see our club today, 15 years on, and it's really nice to see such a lovely turnout. And I'm sure, although we have not, particularly me, to be perfectly honest, have not been able to be in touch with those of you who are taking the club forward, I think this is a very good stepping stone towards organizing something that I feel that we can all be a part of, sort of an online forum, if not going forward, something where we can all get together and maybe just catch up on the old times, reminisce, maybe just brainstorm or whatever, because as you can see very well, a lot of people who passed out from the faculty, as well from the club, have now done quite well for themselves and well established in different areas and different spheres of the industry as well as the academic forum. So given all of those resources, I think we can put our heads together and see how we can come up with new ideas and new thoughts to maybe introduce some new things going forward. But all in all, it's lovely to be a part of this forum, and I'm really thankful for getting the opportunity to speak. So I won't take more of your time. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Rotaractor 𝑵𝑶𝑺𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑮. And with that, and yeah, the time is passing now, and we are about to wrap up the event. So I will open the forum for questions and answers for all the audience that gathered here today. And you guys can pop up your questions now, and any clarifications you have to make. And with that, I would like to thank all of the past presidents, past members, and the current members for joining here, and for joining Nostalgia, the virtual event of Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. And so now the event will be terminated for fellowship.
Sure. So Arshad, it's great to see you, man. You have changed a lot. It's so nice to see you.
That's the understatement of the century, Pathum.
Right. Yeah, true. Yeah. Hey, so I'll get to the point because we might be running out of time pretty soon. So my question is for all the girls and specifically for Somali, I guess. I mean, when we had the call of the presidents, I was actually secretly hoping to see a female face there, but which didn't happen. So I would like to kind of discuss about that. Like, will there be an opportunity? I know in Rotaract it's specific, like specifically it's a little difficult for like a girl to kind of, because like to get to the leadership role and like kind of keep it going, because like you have to go to Colombo, you have to you have to be like mobile all the time. So maybe that's one reason, but what are the possibilities? Because that would be like a cool thing to have, because a lot of like when you look at the world history also, like a lot of great leaders have been like women, like so. I mean, what any thoughts? Like Somali, you have anything to add there? And like all the girls, what do you think?
I guess it's quite true that being a girl, and although I mean we can have a female president, it might be quite difficult with the duties that you have to travel and stay up late night, and then yeah, I mean I am super happy if we can have a female president. And it's high time, because now we have laid the foundation and then things are moving quite well. So we can move another step forward with this point. Maybe we can come together and see where we can, how we can work it out. because there are things which could be difficult being a girl, especially somebody who's coming from outside, like not being a Canadian, because if it was me, it might be a little, hard for me to move around without any help, especially the norms and the biases that we still have in Sri Lanka. I guess we have to kind of find a way. What do you guys think? Anybody else have anything to say about that? Maybe Chamini Nangi, what do you think? Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Okay, I would like to agree with Sumali. In my perspective, I have seen so many girls who are leading roles in Rotaract, and I have met girls in Rotaract who are capable of being presidents. And now in some other Rotaract clubs, they are having vice presidents, and presidents are also all are females. So in my perspective, I think we can have a president, in female president. For that thing that you said that she should be from Kandy. If she's not from Kandy, she will have to move on in the weekends and in holidays likewise. But nowadays, as I see, I have seen so many girls that have potential for being a president. So I
Definitely,
think
we have so much potential. That's why you're there. It's just a matter of how we get things in motion. So
yes. There are certain limitations.
Yeah.
But I think we can overcome them, because
I think it will be not like a immediate decision that you make, but you plan for like a few years to get to that point. So you coordinate better. Like you have also like people to kind of back a situation like that, and help like a president like that too. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good thought to have, and kind of
with more introductions to different clubs, and then so the to-be president could be more familiar with the faces.
Yeah, guys, adding a little bit more perspective to this, now since I'm working especially with the startups and SMEs, one of the biggest problems that I see is we don't have enough perspective from the ladies coming up, and that's a bit of a problem. Because usually when women are in leadership roles, there's a lot more empathy, and that's a really good thing to have. And I do feel the lack of it, especially with startups, because about 80% of all the startup founders are like male. Nothing wrong with it, but you need to have that empathy factor. Like for the last 3 years, I've worked with about, I don't know, 80 odd startups. Only about 3 or 4 had like some female representation in the like the top management level or top leadership levels, and that shows whenever there's like top leadership roles held by women. Those companies are far more fluid and far more, I guess, far more adept at doing things. Best example is Boardpack. It's run by a lady called Lakmini 𝑵𝑶𝑺𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑮 or something. Lakmini is the first name. So they actually, it's a multinational company based out of Sri Lanka, and they're killing it. And a lot of that company's, the core values are based on Lakmini being a female founder. I would really like to see that happening more often. And if the Rotaract clubs can be a stepping stone, might as well. I think we should allow that to happen, and we should encourage that to happen as much as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, we can have some plans to have more discussion and then see how we can do it. I think that could be a good start.
I can add a little, like,
Yeah.
so on the fact that you said the mindset of the female club members, I don't think there's much difference there. It's just like whether, I mean, I could just take me as the best example, because when I actually started, I didn't know much, right? As Arshad was kind of saying, like, we just went for it and thought that we'll figure it out. I don't know if we figure it out in the whole year. It's just that the fact that you should not have a mindset that it's something that you can't achieve. I think it's just that you have to rise up to the occasion and say, like, okay, I'll take this up. And then I'm pretty sure with the community behind Rotaract, no one will say, no, you are not allowed to do that, because that's something that is not something that Rotaractors would do. So I would strongly encourage that people not to have a mindset that this is not something for us, kind of, and we shouldn't be driving something like that. And Somalia was my vice president, so we had a lot of Arshad could add, like, to our board, we had like more than 50%. So most of the decisions when me and Arshad would take, we ended up altering them, because there are a lot of things that we don't see sometimes in a certain decision. So that's something that Somalia would always add in. We also had like money and all this.
We had a whole crew. Yeah, I mean, always, even though the title was not there, everybody was contributing. But then again, it's better to have that somebody saying that, okay, female president, because I think it's going to add a lot to the club. As you all have mentioned, that I think it's quite doable. It's just a matter of fact how we're going to do it. And for all the girls, it's just like, you don't have to hesitate, just go for it. I mean, because the club, I have never seen anybody saying, no, you can't do it. So you just go for it, and then you will be there. So I guess we can do it together if you need a little bit of help, but I didn't have any issue. It was really nice to have all these male presidents, but then again, it's good to have a female president now. It's quite the time now.
Adding on to, I just wanted to mention something like life after Rotaract. I mean, especially like there's this huge community now that basically kind of was involved with the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. Now, we are like, even when you get out of the university, we will be kind of there. Like, I mean, most people like at our age and like even younger have kind of established themselves like pretty well, I guess. And there's like this huge community that you can always reach out to, and like we are there like as an alumni. Like, I mean, connect with us on LinkedIn or like whatever the platform you choose to, and even the Rotaract, like send a message to the current president, and then he will probably get us to reach us. And if you need any kind of help or like whatever, like there are a lot of people that, I mean, I personally kind of found jobs for and so on. I mean, we can't guarantee anything, but we can definitely kind of help you guys out if there's a need, and help everybody out, I guess. So there's no network like this, I don't think there is, like that has this many people that are like associated with like one place. So probably that is something that we need to keep in mind, for like especially the youngsters who kind of get out of the university and is looking for opportunities to grow and so on.
Since I'm still being with the university system, so I think there is a norm that the female people are like, definitely like Chamaraya said, the mindset should be changed. in a girl. So as you can see, by like Sanatha said, we should should set an example, like female people leading the club, and like in our times and in even now, like when people come to the club and come to the meetings, like all the males are leading the project, so like taking the meetings. So first of all, we should as a ground step, we should change that mindset, like women can lead the club, and the people who are coming new to the club, so they see that even like there is opportunity. So the main mindset comes from the university like mindset. So like as I say, uh, as I saw in our other clubs, in community clubs, there are female presidents, and there are they are doing good. Even they are managing clubs very well, and even the so-called big clubs have female presidents. So the main uh, the main thing is the mindset is having in a university system. So we should change that system, at least in our club, like by setting an example. So I would suggest it would be a great start to have a vice president, and like have a female vice president, or like if there are I saw there are potential female people who can lead, who can come to the presidency. So as the ground step, we should change the norm, like we should give more opportunity or more chance, more involvement to female Rotaractors, so that can continue, and even new people can see that there is that is my idea of about female leadership.
Just to add on that, Mali, like Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya was built on like changing a lot of norms that happened, that was there existing in the university those days. So I think this is a best platform for those kind of things, and I think you guys are very, very lucky that you have like a club that kind of encourages changes to the norm. So I think this is a real good place to initiate things, and we have been doing that, I think, from the start, from Pathumaya up to, I guess, Lahiru right now, that we are mainly thinking a lot of things that are out of the box of the university structure. So I think it's already there. It's just that I assume it's already there. So I think it's just that the fact that somebody needs to execute it, and then it will just become fruitful, because I am very confident that University of Peradeniya Rotaract Club is a place where you can make a change.
I'm Shastrangini Surya. It's really nice to see all of the past presidents and past members of the club. Actually, there are so many people that I have never met, and it's such a good opportunity to meet them. As you guys said from the beginning itself, Rotaract is a place where you could meet different kinds of people and get to be with so many amazing personalities. So just to add on to that female leadership topic that I'll be talking about, I think it's just the title, the presidency. That title is the only thing that is missing right now. If you take almost all the projects that we have right now, the biggest project that we have in India, like Reach for Water, Pratibha, most of these projects are leading by the female members or female members of the club in the recent years. That has changed like drastically over the years. Just the title that we say that, this is the president, that norm is still there for the males, because at like in the current time, even when we have like choosing the president and the secretary, if we have like two good potential leaders, if you take like a female person and a female and a male, what we go for that norm is just the female one is the best for the secretary position, and the male person is the best for the president position. That is the only norm that we find today. Or else from that one, right now we have really good female leadership. Even right now, even there are many projects conducted by the female members. It's just the title that we don't have says that, okay, we don't have a female president, just that.
Yeah, Nangi, let me add something to that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
The main problem that I see is that the leadership is already there. That means the female they can lead us in projects and things, but the main problem is that us being a institutional club, we only have 2 or 3 years to be groomed as a leader, and as the president, you have to deal with you have to mainly deal with the Rotaract district and other clubs. So the main difficult being as a female is doing that. I mean, other than that, the leading the club and taking the meetings and leading us in projects, you're already doing that. So what these ladies have to do is they have to groom as a leader, and they have to go to district meetings, and they have to interact with other clubs and make a good relationship with other clubs. So if they can outcome those barriers, I think this female president thing will not be hardship in future. So I think you have to focus on that to groom new leaders, because now we join the club in mostly in the end of the first year, so you only have 1 or 2 year maximum to get to know with the other clubs and district and how things work in that level. So from the first year and the second year, if you can join the district meetings and the parent club meetings, and if you can build a good relationship with the district and other clubs, I think we can achieve this female presidency thing very quickly. Yeah, that's all.
So thank you, Sanataya and all others for adding their comments and giving their thoughts on that fact. Any more thoughts?
Charmin, just I'd like to add one thing if possible.
Yes, yeah.
I think a small mention of past projects on the chat, and I don't know what the status is, because over the last 15 years, I'm sure we have executed at least more than 200-300 projects put together, right? But I think yeah, I'm not too sure like how many like members are aware of all the past projects, and in order to like allow members to like come up with new ideas, it's a good thing to probably be aware of what we have done already. So one place where we could start is like, I think every year, I don't know if this is still the practice, we send our yearly annual report to the district secretary for citation, right? So if we can maybe have all our reports uploaded, maybe for everybody to probably have a look at. We may have like, because not everybody has all the time to go through all the reports and details, right? But this annual report is something, I think it's a short report. If we have that accessible to everybody, maybe everybody could just, you know, who has the time, go through it and have a look and just think, okay, maybe something like this can be done, which hasn't been done, right? Otherwise, you have to go through so many avenues to speak to people and understand what has been done and hasn't been done. So maybe that's something we can put together without too much trouble and maybe go on from there.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, because then also the new new members could also see like where they can make these projects better, right? I know like Next Step has been there for like almost 15 years now, like the one that we kind of like started, I think in Patumaya or our year we started it, or maybe Pagir's year, but it's been there for more than 10 years. So those kind of projects, kind of where we see it clicks with the university needs, I think that is a really good idea.
Thank you so much, Aya. So still we are continuing with the Next Step project, and also there is a back question about what are the specific areas that we can do the projects. Any suggestions on that, like for university-based club?
I mean, the most like when we started, actually, why we started also the club we started, was to serve the university students, and the way we thought of serving the university students were through professional development, right? Like mostly Pubudu Malli mentioned, communication. I think that's like the key thing. I mean, why we have this meeting in English is not because that we can have this in singular, but it's or any other language that we speak, but to kind of encourage people to speak in English. Like when I'm like really impressed to see that you guys, all of you guys are speaking in like very good English. I mean, it's not a simple thing, I would say, because like I'm now in a different country and seeing like how like majority English speaking country and how people like conduct themselves and so on. Um, Communication is really important. I mean, we can survive with just similar in these type of countries, and also conduct business or do anything, right? So it is not like a want; it's a necessity that people know how to communicate. So that is like a one very big thing that Rotaract was established to answer. So the next step, and like I think we need to kind of like through Rotaract, like this is like very nicely positioned to address that too, right? So if we, I mean, it will be great if we can focus kind of a little bit more on that. I don't know, maybe you guys are already doing that, like to kind of encourage, like create a platform for people to, even in broken English, broken communications, doesn't matter, right? I mean, I mean, if you can break that barrier, like I like to like a thing that I see like in the US here and in Sri Lanka is like, if you are speaking in English in Sri Lanka, what I've seen is that you have to be perfect. Like in the US, what I see is if you are speaking English in English, it's like great. Like even in broken English, if you can communicate, that's like a great thing. Like people would love that, right? I mean, if you are coming from a different country and you can like speak a few words even, that's like considered a great respectful and respectful thing to do, because like you are kind of trying to communicate with others coming from a different country and different background and so on. But in Sri Lanka, what I see is like if you're pronouncing something wrong, you are laughed at, right? Like you are frowned upon. So if you can change that attitude inside the club, so people can talk, people can mingle even in like broken English, and kind of send a message that we are trying to build an atmosphere that everybody can communicate without fear, right? That was the whole motto of Rotaract Club, right? So everybody can join any any uh, any background, any cultural or any ethnicity, you can join in, and you don't have to be perfect, and all that. It's purely a platform to improve yourselves. I mean, I believe that will like help everybody a lot, because right, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel that is like really important to break that barrier, that the communication barrier we have.
Thank you so much, Pathumaya. And there's a pop-up question coming up from Rotaractor Virendri Aramepala. So I think this is more related to what Karindu Aya was talking about the mental health management. Uh, she's asking that when serving university students other than professional development and other such requirements, we can also arm them with other much required soft skills and interpersonal skills, like other than communications, important things that are being overlooked, such as empathy, sensitivity, mental health management. So she's asking some of the questions from you guys.
Okay, so let me answer some of the areas of that. Yes, I mean, soft skills, interpersonal skills, those things are like really important, regardless of whatever the areas that you are going to work in. be it research. Like we know 3 things like, okay, you have a career, then you start your own thing, or you go into research. So either way, in any of these things are like really, really important. I would really like it if you guys, so this is my personal experiences, looking back at like what I could have done right. And this is something that I always ask myself, like, okay, if I can go back, let's say 20 years or 15 years, whatever, what could I have done better at that point to be a better person or like have a better outcome right now? And you guys are essentially in that place. So you can make that change so that you can have a better outcome 15 years later. So one of the biggest things that you guys can do is like work on your soft skills, like it was mentioned by Vinri. Now, when I say that, you do definitely have to like communicate with a lot of people and figure out like how everything comes together. Be open to ask questions. Like if you don't know something, just ask questions. Don't be shy about it. And also be very, very open to like interact with people from different backgrounds. Because what happens is when you understand how people work, when you understand the context of where people are coming from and who they are, the better you are going to be in terms of like understanding their problems and how you approach them. Then of course it's going to be very important, and you also get a really good perspective. So and Rotaract to me is one of those platforms where you can meet a lot of these people, talk to them, and you are not going to be judged based on anything. So that's a really good place to start off things. And it's especially for people who don't have the sort of background, who don't necessarily come from, let's say, the 1% of the population in the country who are anyway privileged. Rotaract is actually a really good launching pad. It was certainly the case for me because looking back at whatever that I was, I mean, Rotaract actually played a major role in who I am today. Like even the things that I speak, all of that. And I'm eternally glad to people like Patum, people like Bhagya for making all those opportunities for me. Because if not for that, I don't think where I would be. I'd probably be working in a government office, God forbid. So what I really would like to emphasize here is that, okay, so we're sticking right now. Just make use of all these opportunities. Don't be afraid to like take that up. Let me give you a little bit of an example. So our first project was something called Rotaract 6. I can't remember the proper name of that. So it was a 6-side hockey tournament, and it was a night game. So the first time something like that happened in the university ecosystem ever. Okay, so yeah, and what happened was I had absolutely no idea what hockey was. Okay, so I knew that it's a game that was played with a ball and a stick. That's it. Patum appointed me the project chair. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Had no idea still. So we mobilized a lot of people and we did a lot of things. So I don't know whether you guys know this, but we had this. So in the gym you have this boxing ring that you can actually put together. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy. Okay, so that was going to be our stage. We set that up. Everything was done. Lights were put up. All that was done. And then the day of the tournament, we left the preparation, like the ground, at something like 2 in the morning. After setting all that up, I think 7 in the morning, Patum calls me and says, "Machang, the staircase is missing to the boxing ring." And the staircase is like heavy. It took us about 12 or 15 people to carry that thing from the tractor to the ground. And 7 in the morning, the damn staircase is missing. And we found that near that small creek that's going down. and we couldn't like figure out like, okay, we left at 2, it's 7 in the morning, and how many people got involved to like carry that damn thing from that place to the creek. Okay, and those are the challenges that we had. But we actually came through a lot, and facing all these things, and like facing our demons, that was actually really important. Like in personally, in my case, okay, talking to people is a bit of a I don't like to talk to people because it's a little difficult because of who I am. But I got to like address all those demons really well just because of Rotaract. So I think make this platform the place for you guys to like improve yourselves. And I know that we are talking a lot with our experience. So learn from these experiences. I know that okay, some of you guys have the same problems going on, so don't worry. You'll get somewhere and you'll make something that's meaningful.
To add on to what Alokaya said, and regarding all these questions, and actually it's a bit related to the leadership process as well. So basically what I see is like, we all like to be directed, you do this, you do that, and you will be successful. That is the mentality that we grew up with, right? Even in the work society or the work forum where the occupational people are there, what I still see is that people are still waiting for a direction, like you do this and they'll do it. But what I see from these comments is that you guys have an amazing set of ideas. Like we don't need to tell you, like I know I saw one comment like tell us some projects that we don't need to do as a university, but I know within you know the answer to that question. So it's a bit of a challenge to Ravinder as well as the incoming president. I suggest you that you gather up all these amazing bunch of people and you discuss with them, and they'll know the answer to that. We have done some projects in our years. They were some were really successful, some were really bad. So we have some experience. We are more than willing to share that experience with you. But I want you guys to come up with the project ideas. In my year, for an example, in my year, I got all the people together and I asked each and every individual to come up with at least one project idea, and we were willing to reward the best project. I know Hassan followed in the same footsteps. I saw he was kind of forcing the project, what do you call these avenue directors, right? You must give a project idea to the club in your particular avenue. We can go further. Each and every member has something in their hearts. So I saw addressing, maybe it's addressing mental health, sensitivity. You can do it. We'll help you. Don't be like, never be afraid of failure. We all have failed. I remember even doing the installation itself was a challenge. There were moments, okay, where we almost cried because of failure, but in the end we were successful. So I encourage you all, right? I encourage you all to decide and think of amazing projects that you can do and come up with those ideas. I'm pretty sure the president and the management team, as you call it, the project directors and vice presidents will support you. And you can always reach us. We will be busy at some point. Even when Lahiru is calling, I'll say Malli Pottakinna, but not that. Anyway, if you come with an idea and if you ask for our guidance, we are always there. We'll share our experience, how we failed, so you can be successful. But I encourage you, not to follow in our footsteps. Think something new and go forward. That is what you can do, and come up with amazing projects. Even the environment has changed now. The way when we were in the university, the social problems were different, but now the things are even different. So you guys are the new brain, new talent. I know you guys are an amazing set of people. So you can come up with the projects, and Ravinder can support you guys, and we are also here to support you. And with those projects, we will proceed in this year. And I wholeheartedly wish for all those projects to become successful. And you can within you address all these questions that are being asked, and come with amazing projects, and we'll help you.
By the way, I am the secretary-elect for the next year. So going back to what Arshad Daya mentioned about the project reports, we have been maintaining this blog for the club where there is a brief description of all the projects that we have been doing. So I think that would be a good starting point if the past members would like to get an idea about the projects rather than going through extensive project reports. I think the blog would be a good source of the information of what we've been doing.
Yeah, also adding on to Taran Malvi, so myself and Ravindra Malvi is planning on launching a website for the club, Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya, with the help of past members. So we will be including past projects as well as project proposals, annual reports, as well as photos. If we could collect during this month, I was able to collect 6 years of annual reports and also many project reports which were done in 2010, 11, 13, 14. So I was able to reach more people than I expected. So as I mentioned, so we are in a plan of launching a website. So hope our past members will be able to look into it, and also with the help of Sri Lanka, we are like creating a alumni for data purpose. So
thank you very much for arranging this, and it's really nice to see so many youngsters and all faces like me. And it's really nice to see all your enthusiasm, and I see a great potential there, and hope everything will be, I mean, you will take this club to new heights. And just wanted to add a few, not few, I think only one thing. For all the new members, means all the members of Rotaract Club, just we are planning on, as Lahiru said, we are planning to revive this alumni. And we were thinking what we can do for you. Basically, we identified 2 avenues, like we can help financially, and also we can help you with some give you some kind of like mentoring scheme, because I see there are a lot of people who are in very good positions now, and I'm sure it will be beneficial for you all to have a chat with them, maybe about twice a week or something like that. And so we are in the process of making such platform, and hope we can give back to you something from our end. And I think in future we will try to keep more in touch with you and help you more. I think that's, I mean, as many of others mentioned before, that now the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya is a legacy. 15 years of history means there are a lot of potentials, there are a lot of assets with you, and don't hesitate to reach us at any time, and we will be more than happy to help you in any way from whatever the potentials we have. So let's try to make it, I mean, make it work with these things. Sorry guys, I mean, I'm really sorry I couldn't catch you up, join you before because of my work related things, and I think I'm again
I would like to add something on the wonderful discussion that we are having at the moment. So my name is Anuja, and I was the vice president of the Pasansia. I don't remember when, I think it's 16, 17. So I saw that there was a concern about mental health, and I'm not really sure whether it's about the projects or it's about the mental health of the people in Rotaract. I would like to talk about the latter, and I think Rotaract is a wonderful opportunity to release your stress.
And the most important thing for me, when I was in Rotaract for the whole 4 years, I was waiting for the meeting time underneath the Senate. So to meet people and, you know, talk about everything about the week, about the projects, and about, you know, what's going on with your lives. And you meet a lot of friends. And I think it's a good stress reliever, because you can talk, you can interact with people, and you'd see it's not only for the members of Rotaract. It's a good opportunity for the whole university community. I know that being an undergraduate is very stressful. It's very hard to cope up and manage your academic work with the, you know, other things in your lives. But if you when you come to the meetings, you will see a lot of people having the same problem, and you'd see that you're not alone at all, and you will be engaged in many projects, and you will be exposed to the whole world. And then again, you'd see like a million of people having the same problems in their lives, and you will feel that you're not alone at all. So I think Rotaract is a wonderful platform for everything. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the projects. I see that it's been really wonderful that this bunch of people currently in the club is doing a wonderful job. Like I think that you guys are doing projects that we never thought of, and I'm really glad to see that you're updating the blog, the Instagram page, and the Facebook page, and you're keeping us updated as well. And whenever you think about doing a new project, think out of the box. That's all I have to say. Like, be innovative. You guys have the potential, and that's what we try to do in Passans here. We are like, the Reach for Water project was founded in our year. I'm so happy to brag about it. So I think that's because we actually love to do things that would, you know, shake up the world. I would love to see the same enthusiasm in you guys as well. You know, be creative, be innovative. I just saw a chat message that you guys are doing creative projects. Yeah, that's really great, and keep up the good work. And, you know, I would like to congratulate 𝑵𝑶𝑺𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑮𝑗 as well. And you know, go ahead. You know, it's really great to be the president of a wonderful club, and you know, it's all up to you. Thank you.
So it seems like there's much questions coming from the audience. So first of all, I would like to thank each and every past member for taking their time, starting from my committee, so down to Peradeniya. So thank you so much for accepting my invitation. So it was a lovely event. So we just planned for 2 hours, but as I mentioned, so it's Rotaract, so it will be more towards fellowship, and we don't feel time going on, and even the hunger, we don't feel that as well. So that was amazing. So when the idea came to me, let me elaborate on that. So it was back in December. So back in December, just before 3 days before our annual get together, Hantanandava 𝑵𝑶𝑺𝑻𝑨𝑳𝑗 just has sent a message to our official Facebook page saying, Malli, so one of my committee member Dinukaya is coming to Sri Lanka, so he would like to see if there's any projects, upcoming projects if you have ones, and also Bhagya will be joining as well. So can you just contact them and see? So then and that I realized that it's more than the past members I knew. So when I joined Rotaract, I only knew up to Tarindwa because Tarindwa, before I joined university, he was working with my father, so I knew him quite personally. So that's where I came to Rotaract as well. So moving on from Atumaya's message from there, that's when I decided we can celebrate our birthday. So that's when the Charter Day celebration idea just came through my mind. So I was during my industrial training, so I couldn't do much there, but the idea just flourished to my mind. So, and then in the month of March, as I remember the conversation that I had with Fatuma as well. So he was trying to come to Sri Lanka in April, as I remember. So that came by myself, and also Bhagya on that note was helping with our project. So I talked to them, and if we could like bridge the connection with all the past presidents, because we didn't have a proper platform for even the past presidents. So that's when in the month of April, just we had a WhatsApp group created, and then we have a chat, and also we then saw that the vision starting from Patumaya, the vision is still going on strong, and all the work, even the project next step, I was so surprised because in my first year, that's the first project I chaired under Irajaya's presidency. Thank you so much, Aya, for giving that opportunity. That made my Rotaract club, Rotaract journey, the turning point of that. So moving on to that, we had our first past president meeting on just 3 weeks back, and then the idea grew beyond that to have a live interaction. So I wasn't sure that all past presidents and even the past members are very busy with their life. I wasn't sure if I could just even get 2 or 3 past presidents. It was, I thought it was really hard, but during the conversation which we had more than 4.5 hours, I saw the passion and the keen towards Rotaract Club of Peradeniya, which I saw in each and every past president. So that actually motivated myself as well. I'm just in my last 2 months of my presidency, but I was motivated enough to extend it to Ravinumalli, as well as the projects I did during these few weeks really pushed, and I was able to interact with the district level and also build those kind of relationships that will improve in the coming years. So it was lovely meeting you again. So, and over to you, Chamini.
So thank you, Reflector Anchor, and I also would like to thank all of the past presidents, past members, and current members for joining us here today and sharing their valuable thoughts and guiding us towards the journey, and also sharing the unforgettable memories with that. It was a lovely evening with you all, and thank you very much again for your cooperation and spending your valuable time with us. So I hope we would also meet again with another session in next year also, the Ravi Kumali. So thank you once again, and for here, yeah, it's almost like 10 o'clock. So good night, everyone, and thank you so much.